Now that we have our request and our transform function down, one of the things that we really need to look at is more or less the component that we built. So in the component we built, we had these two properties, is closed temporarily and is open now. Now these are properties that if we go look at our actual data, right, our mock data, we don't really have an is closed temporarily, right, or an is underscore closed temporarily. What we have is an opening hours and then an open now property on it that's true or false. And the same is true for closed. We have a business status, which is equal to closed temporarily. So in this case, what we have to do is we have to do a transform. And that transform is part of this. So Camelize is the first part of this transform. But in order for us to actually figure out what needs to happen, we need to first and foremost map the result, right? So what is the result? Well, the result that we're trying to get at here is an array. So it's the array of results. Okay, well, good to know. So first of all, what we need to look at here is our result has a result.results.length. And if we open our terminal over here, what we'll see now is that it has a length of 20. So that is the actual restaurant results. Okay, good to know. So we know that result has results on it, and we'll default that to an empty array because that's the one that we want. And then we'll know now that we can call results.length, which is 20. Okay, now camelizing will be the last step. Camelizing will be the step that we do from the output. So first of all, let's return results. But what we want to do is we want to say const mapped results is equal to results.map. And a map is a function that will iterate over every individual restaurant and will return us, if we return, like for instance, 1, and we console.log map results, right? Then we're going to see that so 1 second, there seems to be a small problem here. Oh, I put it at the wrong spot. So right here, that's going to, and then we'll console.log. I have to put this in here. I was outside of the function body. And then what we'll see is that at the bottom here, right? What else do we have? Console.logging. So let's remove this for a second. And what we'll see is that we're printing 1 20 times. Okay, so why are we printing 1 20 times? It's because we're returning 1. So what we want to do here is we want to return the original restaurant, but we also want to adapt some properties. So what we're going to say now is that we're going to have a property is closed temporarily. And this is going to check if the business status is set to temporarily closed. So we're going to say restaurant dot business status is equal to closed temporarily. And then we're going to have an is open now as well, is open now. And that is going to say, well, if the restaurant dot, and then we'll say opening hours and restaurant.opening-hours.open now, then we know if it's open now or not. Okay, so what's going on here now? Well, what we can say is that our mapped results have additional properties. Is open now is false because open now is false, and is closed temporarily is false. So we added these. And now what we need to do is we need to take our mapped results and return those, and we're going to camelize those specifically. So we're going to take the original information. We're not stripping it away. We're adding additional properties, and we're camelizing the rest of the results. And so that in itself allows us to look at the information and be assured that the information that we're looking at here is of the right type. So if we scroll up beyond the errors here and I add back my console log down here, what we're going to see is now we have the business status, which is uppercase. So we're leaving the original information, but we're also adding information. We're adding two properties, is closed temporarily and is open now, which are two Boolean flags that we need for the rest of the information. Awesome. So we have our request and we have our transformer. But now the question becomes, well, Mo, how do I utilize this? And that's a good question. So first and foremost, what we need to do is we need to go inside of here and we need to remove this restaurant request because that's not the place that we want to use it. We don't want to use it over here and we don't want to console.log. Let's take the restaurant request. Where is it? Where did I use it? So, oh yeah, because I imported it, it already worked. Okay. So with that, now that we've removed that here and we don't need this anymore because we're going to use this somewhere else, we now have our request and our transform ready to use, but we have to figure out how to use it. So in the next video, we'll be setting up our context, which is going to be doing the request for us and also exposing the data globally.